Hi everyone and welcome to Inderes TV. Today we're going to talk about Aktia and the banking sector with Analyst Matias Arola. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
If we start by digging deeper into Aktia, and I looked at their website and they stated Aktia is a Finnish wealth manager bank. Wealth management is the core of Aktia's business. So when you look at the case, should you look at it more as a bank or as a wealth manager?
Well, that's a good question. Aktia indeed has a significant asset management business, but it's not a pure asset management company. And from my point of view, I think that Aktia is primarily a bank, which has a wide product offering in the business areas of banking, asset management and life insurance.
Yeah, and there you already mentioned the three segments. If you could dig a bit deeper into those.
Sure. If we start with the banking side, Aktia's total lending was 7.7 billion euros at the end of June, and their loan book consists mainly household loans, and the share of corporate side was just around 16% at the end of June. So the risk profile of the loan book is quite low in our opinion. And
because of the major...
the major part of the loan book comes from the household side and housing loans. And if you look at the Aktia's branch network, they have 15 branches currently, and the branches are located mainly in southern Finland and in western Finland.
And if we dig into the management,
asset management business, Aktia has assets under management roughly 14 billion euros. If you compare this figure to their total lending, you see how significant the asset management business is.
Yeah, and compared to other banks, how do you see it? Is it still significant? Is it significant in correlation to the loaning side? But
it's really significant if you compare it to the Nordic banks, and if you look at the ratio of the assets under management relative to the total lending, the ratio is high compared to the Nordic banking sector.
Yeah, and it's a significant part of the portfolio.
About the Aktia's, if you dig a little bit more deep in the asset management business, Aktia's focus has historically been mainly in the traditional assets, and the flagship products of the asset management has been mainly emerging market fixed income products and Nordic equity funds.
Yeah, but there has been a change in the portfolio.
Yeah, well, they acquired Taaleri's wealth management operations in 21, and after that they are expanding their offering more to the alternative side, and the alternative products are now offered in a cooperation with Taaleri.
And those alternatives are?
There are renewable energy side and also real estate products. Yeah. And the third business area is in Aktia is the life business, and it's offering life insurance products both to the individuals and to the corporate customers. And if you look at some of the key figures of the life company, the life business has an investment portfolio of roughly 500 million euros, and during the last 12 months, the life business generated a net result of 32 million euros, and this is divided roughly with a 50-50 split to the investment result and technical result.
Underwriting performance from the pure insurance business.
Yes.
So 3 segments, and if we look a bit closer to the strategic customer group that they are targeting, Aktia clearly states that they want to target the customers that want to increase their own wealth. And I'm thinking, isn't that what all banks do? And if you want to target the group of and get customers in the wealth management sector, are there really that much people whose wealth can be managed at this level in Finland, or how do you see it?
Well, historically, Aktia's focus has been mainly on institutional clients, both local and international.
Yeah.
And
in the banking sector or the wealth management?
If we discuss about the asset management business, so the focus has historically been in the institutional clients, and they have been so-called product house in the asset management business. So the institutional client both will buy some product there and some product there, but after the acquisition of Taaleri's asset management business, they are now putting much more effort to the high net worth individuals and top class customer service. And so I think that the main growth drivers in the future will be high net worth individuals and local institutions and international sales.
Do we know about the international part? How big is it, or are they reporting it that separately? Or
well, they are. I don't remember the exact number. They are reporting the share of international side of the assets under management. It's a big part in the assets under management, and they have been historically they have had a couple products in the emerging market fixed income side, which has boosted the international sales. And it's also worth noticing that in the Aktia's current strategy is not just the asset management side. The key element there is the strong cross-selling between the different business areas.
Yeah, the different segments. So you kind of come into the bank and you want to buy a house and get a loan for that, and they kind of get you into the flywheel of selling the other products as well.
Like saving solutions and life insurance solutions. And
so that's a big driver for the bank strategically,
definitely.
The cross-selling. Well, if we now should dig a little bit deeper into the banking sector and the market situation at the moment, I'm kind of struggling with the mixed signals I'm getting because overall at the moment, the valuation in the whole banking sector, at least within Nordic banks, is really low, on a historically low level. And on the same time, we have interest rate hikes will be a certain driver for the success in the future. But there are also risks involved. I mean, if you think about this economical outlook and the uncertainty of the market, and this will also hide the risks for credit losses and the willingness to take loans, both from a household and a business perspective, aren't that high at the moment. And where I'm really getting at is this: in July, Aktia released a profit warning due to these circumstances. But at the moment, with the interest rate hikes, they are giving very much different signals.
Well, if we start with the profit warning.
Yeah, we start out with the profit warning.
That was mainly related to the turmoil in capital markets, and I mean that this is really the main reason behind the profit warning. But if you look at the banking sector outlook, more general, there definitely are many risks related to the current macro situation.
Yeah.
But if you look at the current valuation levels, I think equity markets are now expecting the earnings of the banking sector drop significantly to the coming years, and I think that's too pessimistic view, and despite the fact that there are many risks and probably we are heading to a recession, we think that the current valuation levels offer significant downside protection.
Yeah, and a safety margin there.
Yeah.
But if we, then I will just catch up on the profit warning, because Aktia itself stated that 1 basis point increase in the interest rate level would improve the net result with approximately 30 million euros. Why aren't we seeing a positive profit warning at the moment?
Well,
because this is pure math.
Well, one reason is that the first half of the year was quite tough for Aktia, and about the positive NII impact, you have to remember that the loan book consists mainly household loans and housing loans, and these are linked to 12-month Euribor rates. And there is a lag, or it takes time that the Aktia's loan book is fully repriced, and we see the positive effects of the interest rate pick up in the next year.
Yeah, so this is really the big explanation to the lag in when you're checking when the result of the hikes will be seen in practice. But still, the market are seeing more downside than you're lifting up at the moment, and this is pure math as well. As you stated in the written report about the Nordic banking sector, you also said that this interest rate environment will actually boost the result of Aktia and make it easier for them to reach their long-time financial targets.
And we think that the financial goals are again realistic. But I have to say that a few months ago the goals looked quite distant.
Yeah, you had a different view.
And if you look back, let's say 1.5 years, we have seen many setbacks in Aktia's equity story and operating performance. First of all, we saw in the last year significant turnover among the asset management key personnel, and secondly, Taaleri, as we discussed, Aktia acquired Taaleri's wealth management operations last year, and there were ambitious synergy targets related to that transaction. But I think it's now clear that the synergies Aktia targeted, we haven't seen that now.
Yeah, so you are kind of more negative, but then you think they will have this push forward due to the interest rate hikes.
As I said, there have been many setbacks in the operating level, and but during this year, as we discussed, we have seen a significant hike in the interest rate levels, and it's clear that this will boost Aktia's top line and earnings growth, and now the long-term financial targets look really realistic.
Yeah, they're coming closer. Yeah. But what about the risks? Because if this is pure math one way, shouldn't it be pure math the other way around as well? The downside, do you see Aktia's loans, are they stress tested enough? And what about the real credit loss risks?
Well, sir, there are many risks right now in the general macro environment and in the banking sector. But if you look at Aktia's historical track record in risk management, we have seen that they have been quite conservative in their lending.
Yeah.
And if you look at, for example, the financial crisis in 2009 to 2008, their risk management was quite successful.
So you're confident that they will have the same level now?
Yeah, and when we take into account the fact that the loan book is really solid and the loan book consists mainly housing loans, and Finnish people typically pays back housing loans. So I think, there are many risks, and the stock price now reflects these risks. But I think that Aktia is well positioned.
So you're more positive than the market, as in these comments, and our view as a whole is that there's more upside in the valuation at the moment.
You mean the whole banking sector?
Yeah.
Well, our coverage includes only two banks, Aktia and Oma SP, and our view is positive in both cases.
Yeah, and given this context and the mixed signals and the complicated environment to work in, what would you say the investors should pay attention to? What kind of factors at the moment before making their decisions, and on what to buy and what not?
Well, there are many factors that have an effect on banks, but of course, interest rate levels and the interest rate outlook is one big theme, because it has a direct impact to the net interest income and to the profitability of the banks. And secondly, I think that the capital market situation is a second thing, because as we discussed, Aktia has significant asset management business and life insurance operations, and these businesses are quite sensitive to the market movements. Yeah. So I think that's the second thing, and thirdly, I would like to say that the Finnish housing market is one big theme, because a big proportion of banks' credit risk is related to the housing loans, and this means that if we see a clearer negative swing in housing prices, that would probably elevate the credit losses in the sector.
Yeah.
And it's also worth noticing that the availability of funding and the cost of funding is somewhat dependent on the housing market
as well.
In the banking sector.
To summarize, historically low levels and upside, but not without risk.
To summarize the Aktia's investment case, I think that the outlook looks quite favorable, mainly, and the big driver is the rise in interest rates, and there are definitely many risks related to the current market and macro situation, but Aktia has proven that their risk management has historically been really solid, and we think that the upside potential is much higher than the risks from the current levels.
Thank you, Matias, for all these comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.